it's just, you've gotten me started, but I'm unmuted. So as I'm sharing all of these comments and texts, I got to tell you that this one, it really stands out. I really remember this one. I mean, how could you forget? I need a sip of my wine for this one. Hey guys, it's Nina. So, welcome back to Unmuted with Nina Chantele. I'm so happy to be here today. I'm back on the rooftop because I was feeling a vibe last week when I talked to you on the last episode and we were talking about how National Radio Day affected me and why I didn't post. And it's crazy because for me, I was expressing to you how it made me feel, how I just I didn't feel like posting because I wasn't into it like everybody else was, and how everybody was talking about their passion for radio, because that's just not where my heart has been, where my passion has been, because I feel, well, like the episode, it was titled, I feel like I've been cheated on. That's how I feel still and felt. I mean, I'm a little bit more over it. Don't get me wrong. That's why we're talking and that's why we're unmuted. And if you haven't done so, please follow, subscribe. I appreciate you watching, listening on all of your streaming services. But I'm back on the rooftop where I was talking to you and back with my glass of wine. Salud if you're having a little something, but because I want you to know that in the moment of how I was feeling and expressing myself to you, I let a lot out and I felt a lot, and it was like me giving my truth finally, being unmuted, being able to tell you what I've been holding in for a very long time. And it is so healing. And I know that because I started seeing so many comments, so many DMs I've gotten from people I have not heard from in so long. People in the industry that we just know each other's names by respecting one another and letting out your truths. And that's what I want this episode to be about. It's like I opened up a can of worms that let people out. And right now I'm seeing that you're healing. You are healing in real time as well, because I mean, I wasn't just getting comments, I was getting DMs that were paragraphs of, you know, you know what, let's just get into it. About the fact that, let's go with Lisa Marie. I respect this woman so much. She said, it broke me down to be essential to non essential, but my journeys thereafter made me appreciate the past growing into my present future. And Lisa, girl, I feel you on that. That's why I'm saying, like, this is why I'm talking about things with you. I thought I was going to be venting last week, but it was really like it brought so much out. And it's just crazy, Lisa, how a system can basically call you essential and need you, want you, and all of a sudden they just turn you into something else by the feeling of words. Words matter. You got to bite your tongue when you talk to somebody. You got to be ready to say those words, because some people will never forget them. And the fact that somebody can make you feel like in this industry that they need you and then they don't, that messes with your head. So I get that. And what you said about appreciating the past, and bring it into your future. The growth is there. That's growth and healing all in itself. And then Mark, I gotta say, Mark is a legend in radio. And he commented, and I feel I've loved Mark since the day that I met him. That man, oh, I love you, Mark. So he says, they said, we're not paying you more. You're lucky to be here. What a way to ruin something I've loved so much. We should have been making more than ever. And it was their chance to devalue us. And when I tell you I feel that, that's what I was saying. When I got out of a contract, I was going to be getting renegotiated. Yeah, being in market number 2, Los Angeles is not a cheap place to live. And not just that, but when you get hired from any company, it could be a contract from anywhere. Your money should be going up as inflation does. Your money should be going up and the value of life gets more expensive. I don't have to tell you that. Tariffs, all that kind of stuff, inflation, got to move with the times. So why would you feel disrespected to get a contract that doesn't match A, your talents, B, the time that you put in? I mean, and these are not in alphabetical order nor numerical order either. It's just, how are you? Your name has been known, you've moved around, you've shown exactly what you can give, your ratings are high, your longevity is there, but what a slap in the face. What an insult to get. No, we don't have more money for you. Hey, it's true what Mark is saying. You should just be happy to be here. That's how they treat us. That is how I was treated, especially during the pandemic when I was just trying, you wanted to still be involved, because if they give you 5 to 10 more markets to do while you're in Los Angeles, you better do them, because they just cut a body in a smaller market, a whole salary, and gave it to Nina in market number two because she's already, making this amount of money, and we will just give her the smallest of amounts because she should just be happy to be here and show that she can do that much more, that many more jobs, that many more stations. Meanwhile, poor, I don't know, let's call her Luann in Louisville, Kentucky, got her whole life turned upside down during a pandemic because they wanted to rid of one salary, and they're going to hire an intern or whoever to run that board for the person who's going to be doing it from another market, yet they don't want to pay you for that. So now you're doing all that extra work, still haven't gotten your raise with your contract, and you're being told you should just be happy to be here. I mean, insulting. So, Mark is a legend in radio, and the way they did him was dirty. And, it's not just bad business, it's just disrespect. I mean, so many of you have lived that reality, right? In this business or in any other business where you feel just, why am I giving my best? You're doing it because it's your name, you're doing it because it's your ratings, but really it's theirs. Those advertising dollars, those endorsements, that money, where's it going? Most of it's going to them, right? You're just getting a portion of it. But who's actually selling it? You are. Why is it getting heard? Why are people running to buy that product, to listen to what you have to say? Because they listen to you. You matter. You are the talent. You're the one making the money, but they're keeping most of the money. And then they don't want to give you most portions of socials because that got added. Remember when it was just a commercial on the air? Now you got to do your socials too. And then you have to be restricted on certain things for your socials. It's just, you've gotten me started, but I'm unmuted. So as I'm sharing all of these comments and texts, I got to tell you that this one, it really stands out. I really remember this one. I mean, how could you forget? I need a sip of my wine for this one. I'm getting choked up because I remember this. Marlene wrote, one day when you were on the air, I was on a bridge thinking about ending it all. And your words made me stop. I don't even remember what you said, but you saved my life that day. Do you know? I mean, obviously, how can you forget that, right? But it's stuff like that. Like, you have, all of these radio stations that are trying to have um, you know, automated or syndicated, not passion to talk to a caller, not passion to have those calls come in and an actual personality, a live personality. You're having, AI replace, and, people say that, that's radio is just, it's turned into that, but maybe that's why it's dying. I mean, people say, oh, no, radio is not dying, but think about it. Why are people running to podcasts? Why are people running to hear somebody talk? Sometimes they want the company. I remember Marlene clearly. How can you forget a moment like that? And just being brave enough to share that, Marlene. I mean, I appreciate you. Those Marlenes, you know how many people out there you may have saved, other on-air personalities out there. This is why I'm doing Unmuted with Nina Chantele, the podcast, because I want to be able to talk about anything freely, openly, give as much as I want to give and say to you and share with you, like this moment here. I don't want to have to worry about, oh my gosh, I have to hurry up and run a commercial and poor Marlene's in her feels and I just hung up on her. Like, that's not what I want to do. So anyway, I'm gonna leave you with this comment, okay, that came from Derek. He said, I remember once you said on air, sometimes walking away is the only way to stay true to yourself. I didn't get it then, and I get it now. Thank you, Derek, for reminding me, because I've always been true to myself and true to you and speaking on behalf of others and telling you to demand respect. That's why I really I thank you. I thank you for following, for subscribing to Unmuted with Nina Chantele on all of your streaming platforms. Please follow us on social media as well. I hope you understand that this is what this is my passion, helping you be unmuted. And I feel like when I started telling you about that whole National Radio Day, and because I wasn't into it anymore, I gave my truth. I released it, and I feel so much better. And you were there for me. And in turn, you started healing by giving me your comments. And I feel like this is what it's supposed to be about. I want to unmute you as well. If you ever have any topics you want to talk about, if you want more comments, if you want to state your piece, I am more than happy to share it here on the podcast. So make sure you leave us voice notes, follow, subscribe, and I will see you next week on episode 14. Salud, muchas gracias, muchos abrazos. Mwah.